Hey everyone, we're here today to take a look at PinGraffix's new mod, which is the Power Blades. And basically these are like game blades that go on the side of your cabinet, except they actually light up and go up and down like an equalizer to the music from the pinball machine. So basically these are, we kind of worked together, and I kind of wanted a set to kind of review and take a look at for my video and blog and all that to see how they actually work. And he sent me a set. So that, like, again, these are beta version, which plug actually into the outlet in your wall. But the ones that he's going to release, I believe, plug directly into like the connections within the pinball machine, like your color DMD or the mods that you would install on your machine that plug actually into the power of the pinball machine. So we could take these and plug these into like a SAM or a White Star that had the actual that operator's power box in the right hand side of the bottom of the cabinet. But future releases, I believe, and later releases will have an actual connector that go into the power source of your pinball machine instead of an outlet like these are. But basically, so since it's an outlet, I could actually show you on my cabinet here, my countertop. And later on, after I do this quick demo of this and kind of talk about them for a little bit, we're going to install them in my Metallica pinball machine and take a look at them in there and see how they actually look. But basically, again, they seem pretty nice. The quality is very good. They're very thick, like the vinyl and everything like that. So they could hold up to a lot of abuse, I'm sure, but I wouldn't want my playfield to be whacking into them. So let's take a look and see how they actually work. And later on, we're going to flip them over and show like the technology behind them of how they actually do what they do. But right now, we're going to take a look at some music being played through my little radio here. And basically on top of this box, which that box is what actually gives the motion of these blades from the sound of your subwoofer in your cabinet. So you could actually adjust the how much lighting you want to go up and down and how sensitive you want them to be with this little dial switch here. So there's an on and off switch on the side of the box here that actually turns these on and off, and then you could adjust the sensitivity with that little dial for the music of how much like gain, I guess they would call that, onto the power blade when the lighting starts happening. So I'm going to play a couple music tracks from some pinball machines. I would like to play something from a real song like AC/DC or something, but I don't want to get busted with copyright infringement or anything like that. So these will work. This will kind of give you the idea of what they do. And again, later in the video, we're going to install these and see how they actually look inside the pinball machine. So let's take a look at a couple songs, a couple pinball songs, and see how the Power Blades actually work. Okay, so that was a quick demo of how they actually work out of the pinball machine. But what we're going to do now is take a look at how the blades actually work. And how they work is that you have this box right here, again, we were talking about before, and this is the sound, like the sound box, which senses the sound. And this is what actually, if we switch it on here, there's a switch on the side that turns it off and on. And then basically how this works is, just gotta wait for it to power up. All right, so if I hit it like this, you see how it actually, they move up and down. So the music or sound from your pinball machine would actually make this box work with these blades. It senses the sound coming through, and the vibration or the sound from here actually makes the blades go up and down. So you have this box, and again, this power, this is a beta version, so it plugs into my wall, but I think the ones that Joe is going to release won't have that. It will plug directly into your pinball machine, not through like the the box on the side of your cabinet or anything like that. So because Spike doesn't even have that box anymore, the one that's inside the right of your cabinet, the auxiliary box. So basically how they work is that each game blade has a ribbon cable coming from it, and the cable comes out from the box here, the sound sensitive box. I don't know what he calls this, but the other ribbon cable for the other side actually piggybacks inside of the main cable. So basically you have two cables in here that give both ribbon cables the power. So if I take that out, it's an actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a 10-pin ribbon cable that plugs directly into the main cable, and then that makes the sound actually go up and down. So we flip them over. If we flip this over here, you have the weaving of all the actual lighting and all that on the back of the the power blade here, which actually the ribbon cable comes out from, and then he has 3M like sticky tape that you would unpeel to stick to the side of your cabinet. So basically, the next step in this review is going to be the installation of these blades and see how they actually look inside of a cabinet. So I'm probably going to put these into my Metallica pinball machine. I have an AC/DC, I have a Metallica as the the music pins that I have. But I think these would look actually pretty cool in the Metallica. I think that's what Joe has actually on his website. But it's a great idea. The quality is good. It's like the actual vinyl, like of an actual game blade. Thick. They're very thick. They seem like they're very durable. I wouldn't want to have your playfield actually hit them. I think they're the same kind of quality as that, so you don't really want to scratch them up or nothing. Be very careful when you're lowering and raising your playfield. But they're pretty cool. Like, I want to see the Metallica ones too, the Death ones, the Graveyard one, which matches the the DMD cover and all that. I have the standard game blades on my Metallica pinball machine now. But yeah, again, like if I hit this, you can see how the actual sensing of this box is sensing the actual lighting inside the power blades. So let's take these out, where I'm gonna go now and put them inside my Metallica pinball machine and see how they actually work. But again, I'm gonna have to plug this directly into the either an outlet or the power that comes from the pinball machine. But again, Joe said that these are beta, and the real ones will have an actual connector that plugs into your pinball machine to get power to make these work. So let's do that next and see how they look. Alright, so now we're here to install the power blades into the Metallica pinball cabinet, and this is the left side of the cabinet, the blade I have in front of me here on top of my two pinball machines. So what we're going to do is Joe provided on the back, instead of the actual game blade where there's the adhesive peels totally off the whole game blade, Joe on the power blades has actually 3M sticky tape around the perimeter of the actual power blade. So what we're going to do now is just remove the 3M sticky tape from the power blade here. So it's pretty thin. You don't really see the adhesive once you peel this off. And now we're just going to get this side. So now we're done with that. And there's no wet method here. Do not use the wet method as I always use on all my game blades. It's not necessary with these. And then what we're going to do now is apply it to the Metallica pinball machine over the game blades that are already on it. I'm not peeling them off right now, because they're pretty flat and thin, so I don't think it would have a problem with thickness. Okay, so now we're here at the pinball machine, and we're going to put the power blades actually onto the side of the cabinet. So we already peeled off all the sticky from the back, or the tape that covers the adhesive from the back. So now it's ready to go. It's locked and loaded, and we're going to now slide it between the into the cabinet between the playfield. And you know, if you have a lot of gap, these are actually probably a lot easier to install than the actual game blades. So I know my hand is probably in the way, but again, as we do with the game blades, you want clearance for the glass. So try to get your top on first, and you might want to take your ribbon cable that is on the end of this and kind of get it into the cabinet so it's not your way. And now you could drop it in and get your angle of what you need. Just like that, I believe. So we have the glass clearance here to get your glass in. So now don't go crazy sticking them down. Just, you know, kind of tap it down a bit just to get it somewhat stuck to the side of the cabinet so you can make final adjustments later. You know, in case you have to like move things around or bend something up and down. Like the shooter rod is kind of in the way of where I am right now. But I just fixed that. So now it looks like my angle is correct, the glass. So as you see this line coming down here, it all conforms to the front of the cabinet, to the back. So now we could actually go and stick them down. Just take your hand and kind of rub on them. And again, it's really just the perimeter of the actual power blade. So that's the one side. Now I'm going to lift up the playfield and just get to the front here so I could actually stick that down a bit. So let me do it. Bring up your playfield slowly, just in case something's out of whack. You don't want to scratch these power blades. So now I have the room to get to the front of this power blade, so I could adhere it down to the side of the cabinet wall. So that should be good. So that's the right side down. So now what we're going to do is do the left. And you really want to watch out for these ribbon cables. Don't try to, you know, bend them or pierce them in any way, because you could have issues, I think, that could harm the ribbon cable. So let's do the left-hand side and actually then do the wiring inside of the cabinet and then see how they actually work after that. Okay, so here we are now to do the left-hand side of the cabinet, and what we're going to do is we have the playfield position the same way as we did on the right side. So we're going to take our ribbon cable and drop it into the cabinet first, just to get it out of the way, and then we're going to take our power blades here and do the same as we did on the right side, and just go back as far as you can. Get your positioning right, you know, for your glass trough and all the other stuff that you need to do. And this stuff's pretty sticky, so, you know, you gotta kind of manhandle it a bit, but you gotta be careful when you're doing it. So you kind of take it, go to your backhand side first. Probably my arm is in the way, but so now we got the back position. Now grab your hand in the front and kind of tweak the front up and down to where you need it. And I think that's good right there. Okay, so now we dropped it into the cabinet, and now we're just positioning it from back to front. So now I have my positioning right in the back. So again, I'm just going to lightly tack it down to the front, just so I don't really put these things down really tight in case I have to move, take them off to remove them or something until we really get the positioning to my liking. So now I think it is working. So let's raise the playfield slowly. And I think we're good. So you could see my blade from the old one kind of showing through a little bit, but that was because I kind of went a little bit high on that one. So all I'm really going to do on that is take a metal ruler, and maybe I'll show that on a video just so you don't see it. Take a metal ruler with an X-Acto and just trim that off so you don't see it. But we're good here because this is your blade. This is your trough for your glass right here, and that's exactly where you want it to be. I just went a little bit high with the blades last time. So that's good. So now we're just going to tack it down all the way. Just kind of give it one more good, like, you know, push down here. Lower the playfield again, and we're going to just do the back. Again, go very slow and lower your playfield. You don't want to whack the side of these things. And just tack it down like that. So the next part of the video, what we're going to do is wire them up to the cabinet and show how that is done, and show how the power blades actually work inside the cabinet. Okay, so now we're here to cut off the excess in case like, you're going over a pair of game blades or something. So all I'm going to do is take this metal like triangle I have, and I can see like the actual decal is here. This is just so I don't slip and cut into my power blade or anything. So what I'm going to do now is just take it and just cut along the blade here, the excess, you know, that's sticking out. And now hopefully I could take the point of my X-Acto here and get under it. And lift it out. And that's it. So you can't see the other blade underneath. So let's get to the wiring of the actual power blades and see how they actually work. Okay, now that we have the power blades installed on both sides of the cabinet, now we're going to work on doing the cabling and the wiring of the blades. So this is the box that is the sound, as I showed in the first part of the video, where the sound of the subwoofer actually makes the gain, I guess they would call that, of the power blades go up and down and hold and all that. So this is the sensitivity knob, as I showed. But what we're going to do, again, in this beta version of these blades, is we're going to plug it into our box over here, our box that gives us power to the machine. And again, Joe was saying that he's going to create a powering source from this box that actually plugs into your voltage over here as your color DMD would plug into, or any other kind of mods you have in your machine. So again, this is a beta version of this of these power blades. So I don't know if the box is going to change at all itself, but I know the powering is going to change. So we're going to now take the actual ribbon cables of what came with the power blades, and on the side of the box, as we've shown in the first part of the video again, these are the pins that the male pins that the female part of the cable is going to plug into, and they're keyed, so you can only put them in one way. So it would go in that way. So as you see, we could already see the blade working with the sound of me tapping on that box. So now what we're going to do with the left-hand side to get that to function is we're going to piggyback into this cable to give it power. So again, it's keyed and it only goes in one way. So we're going to put that side in. So now, as you see, they're both working. So that's great. Then we know that it works. So what we're going to do now is just kind of clean up the cabling in the pinball machine. And how I did it was was that for the left and right hand side, I just kind of ran the cabling through the wire harnesses here to clean up the wiring so that it didn't get snagged on anything, because you don't want these ribbon cables to get snagged on a play field or anything like that. So I kind of just ran it that way, and what I'm going to do here, just as a preventive, is put a little electrical tape or something here. We'll show that once I do that in the end. And just so it stays away from the ribbon and your shooter rod here. You don't want that to get in the way or get frayed by the shooter rod going back and forth. So let me position this into the cabinet. We'll try out the pinball machine and see how everything works after that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, just show the wiring of the path of how we install these, just so they're out of the way. So I just took the ribbon cable and put a piece of electrical tape right here so it didn't get into the flipper button or anything like that, or the the leaf switch over here. And then I just ran the cable just again through the wire trough here of the to clean up the wiring, the harnesses over here. So it just kind of runs down this way, comes down this way, and it goes back to this box here where everything connects to. And then on the right hand side, we just did the same thing here. We just took a piece of electrical tape here, put it over here over the wiring so it didn't get in the way of the flipper button, and then or the shooter rod, and just ran the cabling down that way. Put another piece of electrical tape down there towards the middle of the cabinet, and just ran it through the wiring harnesses again, and just cleaned up the wiring so nothing got in the way as the playfield went up and down. So you could do it that way as well, and everything should be good. And we just put the box here and tucked it off to the side here so it's not in the way of anything, but still kind of gets the sensitivity of the bass speaker here. That's going to give it the actual motion in the power blades. So let's play a quick game and see how they actually work. They look great. They're really easy to install. They're probably actually easier to install than the actual game blades, in my opinion. You get a lot more play with them, and they actually look really cool. The video doesn't really do justice, I don't think. You really need to see these in person and really pick up a set, because I'm really happy with the way they look. When Joe put them out initially on the internet, it didn't really show the detail and the actual lighting effect of what I saw in person as I got them. So I highly recommend them, and I like to also see the Metallica ones too. They look really great as well. So let's play a quick game and see how actually everything works. Just wanted to give a big thanks to Joe from PinGraffix for sending me a set of the new Metallica Power Blades to test and review on my machine. The quality and ease of installation are great. If you want to purchase a set of Power Blades, go to www.pingraffics.com and purchase a set under the Power Blades section. If you want to have your product reviewed, installed, and tested by Pinball Supernova, please email me at info@pinballsupernova.com for more information. To stay in touch with the latest news, info, reviews, and repairs on everything pinball, please go to www.pinballsupernova.com and click on the various social media sites available on the homepage. See you in the next video.